Hey y'all, episode 6 of What They Don't Teach You in Hair School. Alright, today I'm not going to be long-winded because I got to go get my grandbaby. And yeah, but what they don't teach you in hair school, what time is it almost? Tax season. They do not teach you about taxes in hair school and the importance of making sure you give the government their part. I'm gonna tell y'all a story. When I first got into hair and I started doing working, I was on it. I found a great accountant. His name was Mr. Lee, and I believe I was referred to him. And I had him for years, like years. Like I don't even remember when I stopped. But then there was a period of time, but anyway, I had a great accountant and he taught me things. He showed me how the importance of keeping your stuff in order, taking account of different things. But he was really a teacher and he was very meticulous and organized. And he just always worked with me, and I wasn't that person. I'm just a creative. I just love doing hair, and I love taking care of my family, me, doing different things. I just work, but I just made sure I had what he wanted, and then that was that. But as time went on, again, I'm young too, but as time went on, it was actually 2013, 13, and 14. And I don't know, was it 13? Anyway, there was a time where I was so, I went through some depression. I went through like, what they say now, life was just lifing, dealing with stuff with my family, my business. I had now got a building, just different things. And again, I always paid my taxes. Like with tax time, I did what I was supposed to do. But this year, things just got, and I could say, and I went through some things, a lot of transitions, personal, business, family. It was a time. And what happened was I just say, okay, I'll get to it. Or I'll go through it'll be late. And then next thing you know, it'll be the following year. And then I'll get to it. Oh, it's not going to be a big deal, blah, blah, blah. Well, honey, when I finally went to go pay it's time for tax season again. I'm like, I got to do, because I always felt it was always like, every year that it was 2 or 3 years. I don't remember. I think it was 2 years. It was 2 years. And I just kept just putting it off and putting it off. And but it was always in the back of my mind that I need to, pay my taxes and do what I was supposed to do. And when it was time for me, I was ready. I found a great accountant because something happened to my, with Mr. Lee. I don't know what, but I couldn't reach him. I couldn't get in like I was supposed to, like I usually do. So I had to find someone. I was referred to someone. And yeah. Let me say this. You don't pay them taxes. Say like, I'm using for example, say like my taxes that year, I should have just owed $500. Well, honey, when you don't pay your taxes and you have back taxes, and then if you can't pay that amount with the interest, because every day there's an interest charge or something like that. Is it every day or something like that? But anyway, the interest could be more, like double, triple the amount of which all you had to pay was that $500. Now you may owe $2,000 because the day after you're late and your stuff is not in by a certain time, that is interest. Interest is added on and added on and added on until you can pay that off. It's terrible. So I say that to say that what they don't teach you in hair school is the importance. when you work or when you're self-employed or you work for someone, you have to pay your taxes. The government, whether you think you can get away with it, I'm not saying y'all are, but there's some people out here, we're just working, but you're not doing the other part, is you have to pay your taxes because they are going to catch up to you. How? You are a citizen. You have a social security number. You are out there. They will find you. They will get you. You will owe. And you don't want it to get to a certain point where it can get really bad, get real ugly. So for those who are just getting out of hair school, and you get ready to go work for someone, or you get ready to get a suite, and then you have your clientele and you're making that daily cash, one thing you want to do is, excuse me, what I think I want to do is I want to make a part 2 of this, because I don't like to have to rush, but I'm kind of rushing this episode. But one thing you want to do is make sure you chart down what you make. So we as hairstylists, you get money daily, you know what I mean? And even though it may be through credit cards or whatever, track what you make, tally up what you did for that day, and you're going to write it down, okay? Another thing you want to do is track your expenses. You got to know what your expenses, because it's not that once you find a good accountant, all you need to know is how much money you made for that year. So to make it easy, if you have a bank statement, if stuff is coming to your account, if you're getting cash, you always have your numbers. You can keep track of it daily, you can keep track of it weekly, but keep track of it. So you want to have what you made, how much you made, and then you need to give the accountant your expenses. Well, what does it cost to be you? What does it cost to run your business? How much is your rent? Do you pay for water? Your cell phone, you're handling business on it. If you have a landline, also, that's business. That's a business expense. You driving to and fro here, you're using your vehicle, that's an expense. Your health, your body, that's an expense because you are the business. That's an expense. Different things. So a good accountant will give you a list. And what I'll do is I'll make a part 2, and I can give you examples of what expenses are. And then from there, that's all you need. You take that to your accountant, and then they do the numbers. They do what needs to be done. That's all they need to know. Okay? And then they know what's the government's and what's yours. Okay? So, again, it is important when you get out of hair school, or you whether you're a hairstylist, a hair braider, a barber, all that, you have to pay your taxes. You don't want to get into something, it can get real ugly. You know what I mean? So that's what they don't teach you in hair school. Don't be like me. And what I did was, let's go back to the story. I was so emotional back then. Not emotional, but I was going through so much that I wasn't able to, I could, but the emotions and the things that I was going through, I just wasn't together. I just wasn't. And I put things that should have been at the top, I put it at the bottom. I let the things that was consuming me and I was going through consume me and let me go through to the point I wasn't taking care of me, and I wasn't taking care of my business the way I should have. All I was doing was working to pay bills, working to get through this, working to do this. And yeah, I'm telling you, the one thing I did do for myself, if anything, I knew how to do my own hair, and I got my nails done. For the most part, I could just, you figure stuff out. But you don't want things to get to a point. This is what they don't teach you in hair school. A lot of us may be experiencing things. You're like, I can't afford to pay whatever. Let me say this, you cannot afford not to pay your taxes, okay? So again, we're gonna make this a part 2, and I'm gonna show you easy ways. And now, look, y'all, say like you owe taxes, and let me say this part of the story. What I owe because of what I didn't do, take care of my responsibility, it's no way in the world I could pay it. So what the government has is they know situations come up. They know people ain't gonna have it. So you just report it. You go through it, and what you can ask for is, or what they provide is a payment plan. So you get on that payment plan, and they will ask you, well, what's best for you? How many years do you think it would take for you to whatever? They'll ask you all that. But be honest, be upfront, say XYZ, because guess what? If they can't work with you, and you can't, they need you to pay it, right? So they're going to work with you because they want their money. So do what you're supposed to do. I'm gonna do a part 2 of this, and I'm gonna show you easy ways. So let's get ready for 2024. But don't let things and stuff get you so consumed that you can't do what you're supposed to do. Because if you owe that and you in trouble and all that, you really ain't going to be able to take care of your family and do this, and then you're going to be more stressed, and it's just going to be a burden. So make sure, I'm going to show you just an easy way so you can track your money, track your things, so you can do what you're supposed to do. And y'all, find a good accountant. If you don't know anyone, if there's somebody around you, there's also social media, but always ask someone, like, who does your taxes, or where do you get your whatever from? I'll give you the name of the place that I that does my taxes. Is called the AGA Group. They're a great accountant, and I heard about her through Ronnie Brown. She was on a podcast. She was talking about taxes and business, and she named her. And that day, I called them. I was able to get in, and this group, this accountant, this firm has really changed my life. Like, saved me some money. Like, she's on it. But we'll go over that. There'll be a part 2. But you got to do what you're supposed to do, because you don't want that smoke. So I will say this, I was able to get out of that. I was able to get through that. But the government will work for you. They will work with you. But so don't fret. And one thing I also learned over the past few years, and I've not done it yet, because I've gone through some things, but one thing I learned is what you can do, and this is what I plan on doing for the new year, is when weekly, literally, I've already opened up an account, actually, because I'm already starting my goals for 2024. I started in November, December, and I've already opened this account where whatever I make, I take a small percentage. The goal is get up to 10%, but I'm going to start with 3 to 4% of everything that I make. I'm going to put it in this account, and that is for my taxes. So at the end of the year, I'm not like, oh my God, I got to pull out all this money. I got to do this to pay my taxes or XYZ. I already got a nice chunk set aside just for that. Yeah, I'm of age and I should have been doing stuff, but guess what, y'all? I didn't. I'm not always doing things like what you hear. And guess what, y'all? It's okay. As long as you're doing what you're supposed to do, there'll be times you just don't do things the way people assume you should. And what we don't want to do is get too stressed out, too hard on ourselves, And let's just don't think about what you should have did, could have did, whatever. All right, today is today. Lord willing, tomorrow will be tomorrow. Let's just get past that and let's keep moving forward. So for 2024, what we're going to do is we're going to set aside every time if you pay yourself, even let's just say you pay yourself every day. You take whatever percentage you want to do, you want to start with, and you make sure you put it aside. You cannot touch it until the end of the year or quarterly. You put something, because that's another thing. You can pay your taxes quarterly, every 3 months. So every week, every day, you put aside a percentage of whatever you made for that day, so that when you're ready to pay your taxes quarterly, or by the end of the year, you won't miss or see this big chunk of money coming out of your account. Okay? So this is what they do not teach you in hair school. I hope this was helpful. Again, I'm here to do this because I've been through some things. And again, it's been almost 30 years, if not 30 years, since I've been doing hair. It's actually more than that, but with a license, 30 years. So I'm here to just share so that you don't have to go through certain things. You need to go through certain things, but if I can help you along the way, that's what I'm here. So if you like, if you like this episode, hit that like. If you have any questions, comment. But scroll through some of my shorts, some of my videos. See, if you like, can you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already? Could you? I really appreciate that. Thank you, and I will see you next week. We're doing 6 weeks straight of this. This is me just trying to do this on a consistent basis. So I'm supposed to give y'all 6 straight weeks. And if I can do the 6 straight weeks, I think I can keep this episode going. So again, I appreciate you all. You have a good rest of the evening. I got to get out of here and go get this grandbaby. All right, good night.